So we already talked about the zombies or Call of Duty news to come out today, which was the trailer of Call of Duty Black Ops 7's Zombies. It's the cinematic trailer, if you will. Well, the other news to come out today, and it seems like they are literally just going punch for punch, is from Battlefield. But it's not directly from Battlefield. It was a leak around the same time as the Zombies trailer. So I first saw this from Charlie Intel. Charlie Intel tweeted saying, rumor, Battlefield 6 Battle Royale will reportedly be launching at the end of October, around October 28th. The Battle Royale is expected to be free to play. I think that's pretty much confirmed. In replies here, we have October 28th is actually diabolical. If Warzone is really only adding Liberty Falls Resurgence map alongside Black Ops 7 guns, I won't see Warzone doing too hot. I agree. And in fact, I would go as far as to say this is the nail in the coffin for Warzone. No big map coming at launch for Black Ops 7. At least that's what leaks are saying. In conjunction with the game just being incredibly stale, being the same game for pretty much 5 years, this might be the changing of the guard for a militarized battle royale. Yeah, you have some other ones in there, but like compared to like Fortnite or compared to like Apex, very, very different games. What it seems like the battle royale for Warzone is much more akin to Warzone, like almost like a thing for thing. Now, Modern Warzone tweeted first, and I didn't see this one first, so that's why I started with the other one. Sources, Battlefield 6 Battle Royale is currently planned to launch on October 28th, 18 days after the launch of the game. This date is subject to change as always, especially with the BR currently in testing in Battlefield Labs, but I've heard that's the current plan for launch. Now, immediately to me, this was wild because what I had heard behind the scene is it wasn't a month, it wasn't 2 months, it was like February that the Battle Royale was supposed to be coming out. But I think that's just what people now assumed and not what was actually a leak. And in fact, Modern Warzone replied to this saying original reports that were widely published had BR set for months after launch. But I was always told the plan was for the BR to arrive shortly after the launch, not months later. Recently got enough to post publicly about it, but have always been told the rumor was inaccurate. So that's a pretty big thing. As far as what I thought with this, I thought it would make more sense for them to wait after the busy launch period, give their game a chance to breathe, give their multiplayer, give their campaign a chance to breathe, which they're still doing, just a much less big breather, and let the game take a breath and then release the Battle Royale a few months later. But lo and behold, that's not actually what it looks like. Now, this is coming at a very interesting time because if you didn't see this, a couple weeks ago, the Ghost of Hope, notorious Call of Duty leaker, tweeted this, very, very big grain of salt. Black Ops 7 may move up its release date. Now, there is no chance. Like, just to be clear, there is no chance that is happening. And now, with this news, there is absolutely no chance in this happening. I thought that the only way Black Ops 7 had any hope whatsoever in succeeding was the fact that it was a month and a bit after the launch of Battlefield 6. It would give people a time to play it. It would give time people to maybe get bored of it a little bit. And then, hey, look, another first-person shooter. Let's try out Black Ops 7. Now, 2 weeks before the launch of Black Ops 7 comes out a free-to-play Battle Royale. Now, this is one thing I will say. Battle Royales aren't the be-all, end-all anymore. They're just not. When Warzone was released around that time, they were everything. If this was an extraction shooter, it might even be better for the game. It also might be worse, but who knows? Now, the Ghost of Hope followed up today by tweeting this. COD is going to need to do something pretty big. COD is going to need some pretty big surprises at COD Next at this point. Battlefield releasing a month before is one thing, but having their free-to-play Battle Royale out there just weeks later is a big reason to be worried if I'm Activision. And like, honestly, they have to be doing this on purpose. Like, Battlefield has to be like, we have them down bad. Let's just put the nail right in the chest of Call. Like, honestly. And then you have Call of Duty execs being like, Call of Duty is too big to fail. So what can they do? What happens from here? And it's a very, very, very solid question. Because when it comes to Call of Duty, when it comes to a Battlefield, traditionally, even though a Battlefield's promotion is, I don't know why Elgato does this, is really good. Like, for example, Battlefield 1's promotion was incredibly good. It did better than this trailer, in fact. But then when the game comes out, for some reason, people just seem to go back to Call of Duty. And that's where the too big to fail thing comes in. But when you have the game launching and then you have a battle royale. So let's talk real quick. At Call of Duty Next, what can Call of Duty do to win back some favor? The biggest thing has to be skill-based matchmaking, disbanding lobbies, things like that. And I actually recorded a video earlier today. Hopefully it'll be coming out tomorrow here on Ink TV about skill-based matchmaking, about disbanding lobbies, because I think what will probably happening is they announce that there will be no disbanding lobbies as like this big way to bring people back. But what you need to realize is just because there's no disbanding lobbies doesn't mean skill-based matchmaking is gone. And in fact, it's very easy just to matchmake one other person at a higher skill level into your lobby, especially in a 6v6 game, to completely change the tides of the game. When you have a game like Battlefield that has many, many more people in the game, it's the skill-based matchmaking just doesn't work quite the same as a small team game. So that will help and that will build some community sentiment. But the only thing I think personally for me to be like, wow, they did it, is if they said we're letting go of skill-based matchmaking, or skill-based matchmaking will only be in our ranked playlists, or something along those lines. I personally do not see anything else. Now, if we really, really go down a rabbit hole, I could see them doing like, oh, and shortly after launch, and then pull a little teaser for like a game that's coming out in January, and it'd be like Black Ops 2 remastered or Modern Warfare 2 remastered. I feel like that is like the only kind of thing that could actually pull people away. And even at that, I still don't know. Now, the question comes to be is, we've had Firestorm, right? We've had Battlefield has had Firestorm. It didn't work out. It wasn't a good battle royale. But based off of what I've heard from Battlefield Labs, I've had people commenting on my videos, tweeting at me, sending me direct messages, specifically saying the battle royale is really good. It's no joke battle royale. The things work, the things feel good, and it's something to actually look at moving forward. And whether or not that actually becomes successful, it's up in the air to me. Like, man, it's going to be a very, very weird year, especially as someone who has traditionally done just Call of Duty content, right? Like, I have now started doing all story content for all games on Ink Slasher. And then over here on Ink TV, I do about, I would say 5 Call of Duty videos a week, maybe up to 7 sometimes if there's lots of Call of Duty news going on. But traditionally here, we like focus on first person shooters and bring in some other games here or there, general gaming news, PlayStation, Xbox, that kind of thing. But man, like this year you got like Ark Raiders is coming out this year. I can't wait to cover that more. We got Battlefield 6, we got Call of Duty. And then in the new year, you got like a million games coming out between February and March. And then in May, you have GTA 6. So I think like we went through these years where it was just like all Warzone, all Modern Warfare 2019, then all Cold War. And they just had the entire zeitgeist of first-person shooters in the palm of their hand. And I think they were at a point where they could have kept it for at least a little bit longer, but the eyes roll back in their heads, and instead of pupils, you see dollar signs. And then the investors come in, and then COVID happens, and just the investor money goes off the charts, and then Microsoft buys Activision, and then Microsoft's like money, money, money. And dude, I think there's a world where Microsoft fumbles what I think could be the biggest, if they would have not necessarily remastered, not remade, I mean, but remastered each Call of Duty game, 1 per year, and put them for free on Game Pass, and added some sort of minor microtransactions. And I mean minor, like cosmetics, like upgraded cosmetics for characters or something like that. They could have made a goddamn fortune, but they just haven't done that. Hey, maybe that's an announcement at Call of Duty Next, but I very, very highly doubt it. When it comes to all of this, I don't know how they compete with this. If this leak is true about October 28th, October is going to be owned by Battlefield, which is traditionally a Call of Duty month. Call of Duty has already been pushed to the latest ever release date for Call of Duty, November 14th. And then there is no content coming out for Warzone. Is this the end? Is this the end?